Afternoon guys, it's Grant from Grant Fitness, and today's video is in response to a question I got sent over the internet last night. I thought the easiest way to answer it would be to show you guys and put a video together. The question was looking for a workout or a training regime that is going to target the glutes, which are obviously a weak area for the person who sent in the request. They said that they have tried squats, but when they squat they feel the front of their legs but no activation in the glutes. So what we're going to look at before I go through a workout, which is going to be very, very good for legs, glutes and pretty much the whole body, we'll look at why you may not be feeling or why you may not be recruiting your glutes when you squat. Okay, so the first thing we can look at is a squat pattern. Okay, now the squat pattern is basically how your body moves when you go down into a squat. Okay, now one of the main, not mistakes, but one of the main things I see with people, with clients I have at the moment, is when they squat, initially they bend their knees and then they sit down into here, okay, when they're going down into their squat. So knees go, weight goes forwards and then they sit down, okay? Now, if I do that, if I break my knees first and squat down, my centre of gravity runs from kind of my shoulders down to my feet. So that's in this line. You can see in this position, my knees are way out in front of my centre of gravity, my hips are pretty close to it. So the joint that takes the most stress is my knees. Okay, now the muscles that work to straighten my knees and stand me up are my quads and the front of my thighs. So if I squat down like this, I put a lot of pressure on my quads, and that's the muscle that's going to do the most work in the exercise. Now, if I change my squat pattern, so when I squat, my hips go backwards and I come back to here, again, you can see how my centre of gravity is still from my shoulders down to the centre of my feet. This time my knees are much, much closer, and the joint that's furthest away is my hips. Now the muscles that straighten my hips, and that therefore do the most work when they're straightening back up into the squat or standing from the bottom of the squat, are my glutes. So really simply, instead of bending your knees and sitting down this way, make sure your weight is in your heels, you push your bum back, and you squat this way. Okay? And that straight away will recruit your glutes, or use more of your glutes and your quads when we're standing up. Now a really good way to cue this is to get a box or a step or a stool. And again, you stand about 6 inches, a foot away from the box, and all you've got to do, make sure when you squat down, your bum touches the seat, and then come back up. Bum touches the seat, and you come back up. If you break your knees first and you come down, you're going to miss the bench, you're not going to get the cue. Okay? So that's one way to change your squat pattern. The other thing to do to turn your glutes on before you squat is, again, when you set up, again, I can have my feet pointing parallel here, okay, and I can squat out. Or I can open my toes out slightly. And if you stand there, put your hands on your bum with your feet pointing forwards, and then rotate your toes out, you should feel your glutes activate and turn on. So by turning your toes outwards, you again cue your glutes and get them involved from the start. So if you're having problems with your squatting, think about A, changing your squat pattern, B, turning your toes out, and the other thing, as you stand up, squeeze your bum at the top. Come down, squeeze your bum at the top of your squat. Okay, so hopefully that addresses the problem of why you wouldn't feel your glutes or be using your glutes when you're squatting. So now what we're going to do, we're going to run through an exercise program which will be very, very good for your lower body. So the first exercise in our circuit is going to be a goblet squat. Basically you're going to hold a kettlebell if you have one, hold it chest height with your elbows back by your sides, sit back into your squat, get your hips just below parallel, and then stand up squeezing your glutes powerfully at the top. We're going to look for doing 12 good goblet squats. Okay, you see from the side, just dropping down below parallel, keeping a good neutral spine, standing up and squeezing the glutes at the top. If you don't have a kettlebell, grab a dumbbell or a medicine ball, same kind of thing, hold it by your chest, sit back into your squat, just below parallel, and then stand up with a powerful contraction in your glutes at the top. Do 12 repetitions of whatever squat you do. The second exercise we're going to do is a deadlift. Again, we're going to use the kettlebell. Position the kettlebell centrally between your feet with the handle roughly level with the middle of your foot. Then all you're going to do is you're going to unlock your knees. You're going to imagine you have a hinge at your hip. You're going to bend forwards, grip the kettlebell handle, and then stand up with a powerful contraction of your glutes, keeping your spine neutral, keeping everything in your back nice and tight. Okay. You can see I'm never rounding my back. It's always staying neutral, and every time I place the kettlebell down, it's going to the same position directly between my feet. If you don't have a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell. I recommend doing it with one arm at a time. Fold the other arm behind your back, so into the arch of your back, and just bend over to as low as you can, keeping that neutral spine, and stand up. Do 12 on one side, then switch and do 12 on the other. Same thing from the front. You can see I'm going as low as I can, keeping that good arch in my back, and then standing up. The third exercise in the circuit is an integrated lunge. So basically what you're going to do is lunge forward, holding the kettlebell or the weight by your chest, and when you get into the lunge position, you're going to rotate your upper body 90 degrees towards the leg that you've stepped on. So if I step with my right leg, I rotate my body to the right. Step with the left leg, I turn to the left and drive back up. And this is a really good exercise for targeting your legs and your glutes in particular. Any kind of lunge is really, really good for your glutes, but also it's working on thoracic rotation, or rotation of your upper spine, which is a really, really good thing to put into any exercise program. If you don't have a kettlebell, you can do exactly the same with a dumbbell. So you see, lunge forward and just rotate, stand back up. Lunge forward, rotate, stand back up. Okay, you can do it with a medicine ball, anything that you can hold stable in front of your chest, and which will add a bit of resistance to the movement. After a lunge, we're going to go straight into a step up. Again, I'm using a plyo box, but you can use a chair, a wall, anything that you can step up onto. Again, I'm going to hold the weight, the resistance, the kettlebell, the dumbbell, the medicine ball, whatever you've got, hold it by your chest, step up, drive yourself up, stand up nice and tall at the top, and then slowly lower yourself down. Don't fall off the box, step down nice and slowly, point your toe and find the ground with your toe before you let yourself down. Again, as with all the exercises, I'm going to look at doing 12 repetitions at this stage. Next exercise we've got is a kettlebell swing. Okay, so this again is using the hip hinge mechanic. You're going to start similar to your deadlift, but you're going to put the kettlebell slightly in front of you. You're then going to pull it back between your hips, and you're going to use an explosive contraction of your glutes to drive the kettlebell forwards and away from you. You're not lifting the kettlebell with your shoulders. You are keeping your arms relaxed, hinging at the hips, and driving the kettlebell forwards with your glutes. Again, do 12 repetitions. If you don't have a kettlebell, you can do the same exercise with a dumbbell. So what you're going to do is let your arms swing with the dumbbell, hinge at the hips, and use your glutes to drive the weight away from your body and swing upwards. Okay, so you see I'm not going into a squat pattern, I'm just unlocking my knees, bending at the hips, letting my arms swing back into my thighs, and then throwing my arm away by thrusting my hips forwards, squeezing my glutes. Again, if you've got a dumbbell, do 12 on one arm, then do 12 on the other arm. Last exercise is a glute bridge. So again, you're going to lie on the floor with your knees close to your bum. You're going to rotate your pelvis. Imagine you have a bowl of water on your pelvis, and you're going to tip that bowl of water towards your face, and then all you can do is drive yourself up with your hips. You can do 12 repetitions of this exercise, and that will be the end of the circuit. After you finish the circuit, rest for 2 minutes, and then repeat. Repeat the circuit 2, 3 or 4 times depending on your fitness, and that should be a very good workout for your legs and targeting your glutes. There you go guys, if you enjoyed it, like the video, share it with your friends, and I will see you next time.